Coronavirus, antibody, vaccine. What does this mean? Ever since the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus has normalized among us, we learn something new that changes what we have to do. Let me explain what we know. I start by briefly looking into the coronavirus on the protein level. Then I relate the biology to the real world of soaps, cleaners, time and the sun, drugs, antibodies, and vaccines. I end with an explanation of face masks, keeping distant, and aerosols. I explain the newest research from primary scientific literature to help those who are unsure. Let's look at the structure of a coronavirus. A coronavirus is a spherical particle made up of a lipid bilayer with a protective shell, also called the viral envelope, similar to the cell membrane that surrounds animal cells. The lipid keeps the inside and outside separated as a barrier. Immersed in the lipid layer are proteins. The most well-known coronavirus protein is the spike protein, which functions to bind the human host cell at the ACE2 receptor found in the human respiratory system. The two other main structural proteins are the M protein, the central organizer for coronavirus, and the E protein, which helps with virus assembly to be released from the host cell. Inside the coronavirus is single-stranded RNA that is bound to nucleocapsid proteins. The proteins also assist in replication. Now that we understand the coronavirus structure, let's talk about how we can destroy it. First, let's focus outside of the body where the virus cannot survive too long without a host. Soaps work by separating the lipids in the viral envelope, just like soap works for destroying grease on dishes. Be sure to wash for the full 20 seconds. Cleaners destroy the surface proteins, breaking them apart or denaturing their structure. Cleaning products need to contain hypochlorites, such as chlorine-based disinfectants and bleach. Most products on the market have these chemicals. Alternatively, if the cleaners are alcohol-based, the alcohol needs to be at least 60% for ethanol and 70% for rubbing alcohol to be effective. On surfaces, with time, the coronavirus will eventually dry up. The amount of time depends on the surface material type. The UV light from direct sunlight can damage the RNA within the coronavirus. It only takes about 7 minutes with the direct summer UV levels, but the indirect UV rays will take 19 minutes to damage the RNA. Let's move to ways of destroying the coronavirus inside the body. Drugs treat sick people. Remdesivir incorporates into the viral RNA and prevents viral replication. Immunomodulator drug can be used to fight the later stages of infection. Now, what about antibodies? How do antibodies relate to a vaccine or antibody therapy? How long do antibodies stay in the body? Antibodies are part of the body's defense system and target many parts of the virus. The antibodies identified so far that neutralize the virus are targeted to the spike protein. Antibodies are released from the blood's B cells, where a component of the immune memory is formed. Shortly after recovery from being sick, a person might have a high number of antibodies still in their system, but a while later, the antibodies are not as present. However, the body is still protected as the B cells retain a memory of the infection and are more ready to fight a reinfection. In antibody therapy, sick patients can be given a plasma treatment that directly gives them the antibodies from a person who recently recovered from the illness. Vaccines help healthy people, training their body to fight a future infection. Vaccines use fragments of the virus to train the B cells. Now, what about the air we breathe? How does this really transmit the virus? Every time we breathe, we expel respiratory particles. Active virus is exhaled in these droplets. Some of these particles are larger and fall more quickly to the ground. However, smaller respiratory particles spread further, at least 6 feet away. Worse, these small particles can become airborne, which is a big problem for indoor conditions where the air is trapped and recirculating. Scientists are still investigating the extent of spread through these aerosol conditions. The good news is that recent research identifies that face masks significantly reduce the amount of respiratory droplets in the air. Therefore, wearing a face mask, even a cloth one, will help reduce the spread of coronavirus in the air. By understanding the structures that form the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus, hopefully the different ways of destroying the coronavirus are clearer. Outside the body, soaps and cleaners can be used to destroy coronavirus. And inside the body, drugs, antibody treatments, and vaccines help fight the virus. As this coronavirus is newly emerged, scientists are discovering new information and creating vaccines at an extremely rapid rate. To dig deeper into the information presented in this video, please see the description below for links to the primary research articles. If you like this video, please share it so that everyone can be more informed about the coronavirus and what we can do as a society to help prevent the spread. Subscribe to She Rock Science for more videos about science, adventure, and life.